Welcome back to How to Convince with Lawyer Vince. Let me ask you something. Have you ever gotten feedback and immediately felt defensive? Like your chest tightens, your brain starts arguing, and suddenly it's not about the feedback anymore. It feels personal. Maybe it's from your boss, a client, your partner, even a friend. And you walk away thinking, why did that hit me so hard? Today, we're talking about why feedback feels like a personal attack. And more importantly, how to stop taking it personally so you can actually use it instead of spiraling. We're going to cover three things. First, what your brain is actually doing when you hear feedback. Second, the mistake that turns neutral input into emotional pain. And third, how to respond in a way that keeps your power and your confidence intact. All right, let's get into it. So, number one, your brain thinks feedback is a threat. But here's the truth no one tells you. When someone gives you feedback, your brain doesn't hear information, it hears danger, especially if you grew up being praised for being good, being smart, or being like the responsible one, right? Your identity gets wrapped up in performance. So when someone says, hey, this could be better, your brain translates it to you're failing, you're disappointing, you're not enough. And once that switch flips, logic shuts off. That's why feedback feels so intense so fast. You're not overreacting, you're reacting automatically. This is why people interrupt or explain themselves, defend their intent, because the nervous system is trying to protect themselves, right? So the first step isn't to fix the feedback, it's calming the threat response. Here's a phrase you can say internally, even if your heart is racing. This information is not a verdict. Say it again. This information is not a verdict. That one sentence creates just enough space to stay grounded. Two, this is the mistake that makes feedback hurt more. So here's where most people go wrong. They merge who they are with what they did. So feedback about behavior becomes feedback about their character. Let me give you an example. So your boss says, this presentation felt rushed. Here's what most people hear. They hear, you're careless. You're not good at this. You shouldn't be here. But none of that was actually said. That's your inner translator adding meaning. And once you personalize it, you can't hear the useful part anymore. Here is the reframe. Feedback is not about you as a person. It's about alignment, expectations, outcomes, standards. That's it. So instead of responding emotionally, try this out loud. Got it. What would strong execution look like next time? Or you can say, can you walk me through what you'd want done differently? Notice what those do. They shift the conversation from judgment to clarity, and clarity always feels safer than assumption. Now, number three, this is how to respond without losing your confidence. So now let's talk about how to respond in the moment, because staying calm doesn't mean staying silent. You don't have to agree with the feedback to receive it professionally. Here's a simple structure. First, acknowledge. Second, separate. Then third, decide. Acknowledge, separate, decide. Acknowledge sounds like, I hear you. That's it. Not an apology, not an explanation, just acknowledgement. Then separate the feedback from your identity. Say internally, this is about the task, not me. And finally, decide. Ask yourself, is this useful? Is this accurate? Is this something I want to apply? If yes, then apply it. If not, let it pass without defending yourself. Here's a powerful response you can use out loud. Say, thanks for sharing that. I'll take some time to think it through. That sentence keeps your authority intact without agreeing or pushing back. Confidence isn't reacting quickly. Confidence is choosing your response. All right, let's move into our Q&A. These questions come straight from our newsletter subscribers. As always, identities are confidential, and if you want your question featured on a future episode, make sure you're subscribed to the newsletter. The link is in the description. Question number one. I'm a 60-year-old woman, and there's a pattern. I get a job, stay for a while, then a woman in authority or with more seniority starts giving me the silent treatment or treating me disrespectfully. I've been called into the manager's office to talk about it, but the behavior doesn't change. Eventually, I quit because I can't stand the tension. I just get a new job. How can I be proactive? First, I want to say this clearly. You're not imagining this, and you're not weak for wanting peace at work. Here's what's important. The silent treatment is not a personality conflict. It's a power move. So being proactive doesn't mean being nice. It means being clear earlier at the first sign of withdrawal or tension. Say this: I want to make sure we're aligned. Is there anything about my work or communication that you'd like handled differently? That does two things. First, it names a dynamic without accusing, and it puts responsibility back where it belongs. If the behavior continues, document it, not emotionally, factually. Dates, behaviors, impacts on work. And if management gets involved again, I want you to say, I'm open to feedback on my performance. What I'm asking for is professional communication so I can do my job well. You're not there to fix someone else's discomfort. You're there to work. Question number 2. How can I talk to myself when I feel like an in-law doesn't like me? I feel uncomfortable, unnatural, and I'm a people pleaser. Look, this one makes you human, right? Here's a shift. Stop asking yourself, how do I get them to like me? Start asking, how do I want to show up? Discomfort comes from self-monitoring. You're watching yourself too closely. Try this internal script before you see them next time. I don't need approval to belong here. Say it again. I don't need approval to belong here. You don't need to perform warmth. You don't need to over-explain. You don't need to win anyone over. Neutral, that's allowed. Calm is allowed. You're not being judged nearly as much as you think. Question number 3. What can you say when you know your husband is having an affair and he denies it even though it's obvious? Look, this is a hard one. And I want to be very careful here. You don't need to argue facts with someone who is committed to denial, right? That only drains you. Instead, shift away from proving and toward boundaries. You can say something like, I'm not here to debate details. I'm telling you, I don't trust what's happening, and that matters. Or something like, whether you admit it or not, the trust is broken. What matters now is what we're going to do about that. See, the truth doesn't require agreement. Your clarity is enough. Now, question 4. How do you respond when you work with men who call you aggressive or mean? Let's be very clear. That label is often used when a woman is direct. So don't soften yourself to make others comfortable. Reframe the conversation. Say this calmly. Can you be specific about what behavior you're referring to? Or if direct communication is the concern, I'm happy to focus on clarity and outcomes. Notice what you're doing. You're removing emotion. You're demanding specifics. You're keeping authority. You don't need to defend your tone. You need clarity on expectations. Question number 5. I spiral after feedback or awkward interactions and replay them over and over. How do I stop ruminating? This ties perfectly in today's episode. So here's the rule. Replaying doesn't create insight. It creates anxiety, right? So give your brain a closing statement. Say this to yourself. I've extracted what's useful. The rest can go. And if your mind keeps looping, ask, what action can I take? If any. If there's no action, the thought doesn't get more airtime. All right. Confidence is knowing when a thought is no longer productive. All right. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's this. Feedback only feels personal when you treat it like a judgment on who you are. It's not. It's just information. Sometimes it's useful. Sometimes it's poorly delivered. And sometimes people get it completely wrong, but it doesn't get to define you. You get to decide what you keep and what you leave on the table. So the next time feedback hits you a little personally and hits your chest too fast, pause, breathe, and remind yourself, this is about the work, not my worth. If this episode helped you, even a little, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who tends to spiral after feedback. And comment, information, not a verdict. So I know you stayed with me to the end. This has been How to Convince with Lawyer Vince, and I'll see you same time next week.